Welcome back to this tutorial series on working with the True32 website template. This video tutorial will be about editing the additional CSS element of the customizer. So from your dashboard, we'll want to go to Appearance and Customize, and then you'll want to wait until this loads completely. Again, it takes it just a minute to load, and then it also loads a certain amount of the buttons and it drops down a few more, so if you go clicking too soon you'll get on the wrong thing. So we've already gone through everything but the additional CSS, so that's what we're going to focus on now. So I'm leaving this in the basic set because I want you to use this. Feel free to use this. I wouldn't edit it in the sense that I would add or subtract from it necessarily, but I wouldn't mind you come in here and changing the font family here, or even taking that out. For you to be able to control the H1, H2, H3, and you could go on down if you want to. We're only using the first three of the 6, but if you want to do the others, you could literally just copy that, paste it, and change it to 4, and then you would have 4, and you could change anything about it. So what we're trying to control is the font. We might want to use a different font for H1 than H2 or 3, and right now we're not. We're using the same font for all 3, but we have in the past used different fonts for these different header type big text. But also you might want to change the color, and you see here I am doing that. So for H3 I'm using a different color than well actually I'm not, I just have this one capitalized and these not, but you can have a different color for H1 and H2 and H3, and sometimes that's advantageous. So if you want to do that, that's what this is here for. So that's going to control things like this. And where we're using it a lot is right here where we're using the H1, and this is probably H2, maybe H3. Also when we're on the galleries, we're using it here. This is H3. And then when we're on like the contact page, some of these icons are controlled by the colors of H1 or H2. So you have to play with it sometimes to find what controls the color. But I'm going to try to help you with that. And I have not given everybody else this additional text other than the one up here at the top. So here I've added some additional text, and I'll go back to everybody's website and do this. I just haven't done it at the time of me recording this. So this section controls the H1 tags. And then you get down, so anywhere you see this /* and then */, that's the opening tag and the closing tag to say this is just a note, it's not doing anything. So this section here is controlling the opaque headers and the opaque body rows, and these do not necessarily have to be opaque. So I've used that terminology here because initially they were opaque like this where you could see through them, and the background color still is. When you see these RGBA colors like that, it's transparent like this is, where you can see through it. But when you see just the hashtag and then the numbers, then it's just a solid color, and I've gone to that here recently. So this is controlling these headers here, that color, and the other one, this one, the background color, is controlling this area here. Now on this page, if you went and started disassembling this, we've talked about in previous videos that we've got these rows behind all this stuff. So this one has a row behind it that actually has that color applied to it, and then it has a module sitting on top of it that has this text in it that's using the H1 tag, that's controlling it, that's making it gold and making this gold, this H2 or 3 tag. But the first one here is controlling those headers that are now teal. And this is actually just white, but it's made transparent, so it looks beige when you look at it because it's on top of the wood grain and because it's been made opaque. But again, it can be any color you want it to be. You see that on this site, if we come to that same page, the process page or the system page, any of those contact page, she still has the teal color here, but she's changed this from gold to white. She's actually added some spacing in here, and she's changed the fonts, and you notice here she's changed some of the words in the fonts. Now that's overriding the CSS. She's actually coming into this module and changing that with HTML is how she's doing that. You can't change part of a sentence with CSS. It's going to capture all of it within the paragraph tag of some sort. I mean, you could do something with it, but basically each one of these are controlled by these words we see, like dot opaque hyphen header. When we put that in the module in the class section, then it's going to use this information, and you can add more information like you see up here. We've got 3 things that we're controlling. Here all we're controlling is that color, And down here, all we're controlling is a color. And then here, this is this row background image is what that means. So it's controlling this wood grain here. And again, you see on this website, she's taken a picture of a countertop and kind of blurred it out using Adobe software and blurred it out and created this look here. She could change it on every single page by coming here and going to that image and pasting that. And let me just show you how to do that real quick. I don't want to belabor it, but I do think it'd be worthwhile to show you how that works. So we would just come here to our media library. We need that path for that image. And then we need to find that image, which may be easier said than done. Since I'm going to presume it's at the end, and if it is, great, and if it isn't, I'm just going to pick any image. I think we've done this before, and it is not there. I'm going to go back one. There it is right there. Okay, so here's that image, that wood grain back image. And so if I just say edit, click on edit for that image, then up here in the top right corner, right here, is that what I would need. I would just literally triple click on it or swipe across it, right click, say copy, and I've got that path or URL for where this image lives. And then I could come back here. You don't want to get the quotation marks, you want to leave those in, but you would just literally come in here and get between that and paste yours in, because this one is specific to my website. Now, if you put that into your website, it would actually go look for that image on my website. And if it was still there, it would actually use it and work. It would slow your website down a little bit. But you want to have your website here. You want to have this set to yours, and that's how you do it. And then you need to have this repeat. Some of your sites just have repeat hyphen X or Y. And ultimately, I need to back that back out. I found later that if you get a really wide screen like my 32-inch screen, I hardly ever use it for website development, but if you get a 32-inch screen, if you don't repeat in both directions, so repeat means repeat that, and you can see where it's repeated on this website. Right here, you can see this is where that image starts over again. You can see that coming right through here, and then there's, I believe the other line is right there where it's starting over again. So this image is like, yeah, there it is right there. That image is that big, and to solve that problem, she needs to bring in a larger image. Right now, she's probably fighting with the short pixel image optimization software, and you just have to say, I don't want to optimize this image for this particular background image, so you don't have that repeat. Because it looks fine here, I don't really dislike it there, but when you get to one of these short pages, you see it and it doesn't look very good. So I will help her with this as soon as I get time to visit with her again. So we've got that controlling that wood background, and you can put any image you want into the library and then put the URL to that image here, and it'll use it on every one of those pages, so you're not having to go to each page and change that. And this section here is not really being used, but it's something that you might find, like where you were seeing she had these various colors of text. I believe that was on the process page. So instead of using the P tag, you could use this link color or text color class. So you'd use the class in your HTML, and then you could control, at least you wouldn't, each one of these wouldn't be independent. So if you decided to change them, you would have to come back to every one of them. You'd just come back here and change that. But so right now I'm not using text color, link color, or hover color, or accent color, but you can. They're here, they're ready to be used, they're just not being used. I haven't used this class anywhere on any module or in any code. So this home one is controlling text and borderlines in each of these areas. So it's controlling this, this, and this. And home one is this first one under this very first picture, this first area where there's some text here. And so you could make them different colors. You can see now that how I've done it is I've come back and I've made them all the same, but you can see on different sites like hers, we're going to see, so she's got dotted lines above and not below, above and below, and above and below. So, and you can, however you want to do it, but that's how they are on most of your websites, is there's a dotted line above and below, and it's the same thing. You're controlling it right here. And so where I'm saying, so this is home one, so it's this first one, yeah, this one right here, and I've said I want to use the Nucha font for the words, and I want the font to be 30 pixels, and I want the weight to be 400, and I want the color to be this gold color. And then I've said I want a border top, so that's that line there, and I want it to be 4 pixels, and I want it to be solid. If I came in here and said, no, I want that to be dotted like you saw on hers, I would just type dotted. You see it went to dotted. And then I could even come down to this one the lower one and say I want it to be dotted, and maybe I want it to be 10 pixels. You know, it's not a bad look. I don't hate it, but you can control this area right here from here rather than having to go to the module. And if they're all the same, then you're basically just cutting and pasting it rather than going to all these modules. And I say it's easier from here because these live on top of a row, and it's just a little bit of work to do that. But that one's controlling that first one. H2 is controlling this second one. H3 is controlling this last one here. H4 is controlling the background right here, this gold looking color. And H5 was an attempt, it's not being used currently, but it was an attempt to control this. But this is not a background, it's actually an overlay. So for this opaque thing here to work, you do have to control it from the module. And then you see this teal line right here. That teal line is this section right here where we're saying in the footer widget, and it's the only place it controls it. If you have something that is an H4, which these text elements happen to be H4, then it's going to put a border under them, and it's a solid line. It's 2 pixel. If I said it was needed to be 10 pixel or I wanted it to be dotted, you can see that I have control over that. Alright, and then this section down here controls the width of these three things. So it's again footer widget. You can see here it says it's footer widget, and it's basically saying that this first area is 34%, 33%, 33%, and you could divide those up if you wanted to make 2 smaller ones or make this one small and these bigger. Whatever you wanted to do, you could do that with this. So that's what this whole section is about, is being able to control things globally, where if we did each one of these borders at the module, every time we wanted to adjust them, the first thing we'd have to do, and let's just really quick take an inventory how many there are. So let's come to the first page that has them. So there's 2 on this page, and then if you had the team page, there's at least 1 on that page, and then if you have the plant tour, there's 1 on that page. And then your system page probably has 4 or 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 on that page, and the process probably has 5 or 6 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 there. And then the galleries, each one of them has 1 at the top. And then the contact page has 1 at the top. And so if we didn't control that with CSS and you controlled it at the module level, to change all these, you'd be going to all these pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages, and doing 1 to 6 or 7 of these on each page. And to edit it, you would have to move this first, then make your change, and then move that back. Because it's the color is the row. But by using CSS, I can come in here and make that change right here by just changing this color to whatever I wanted it to be. So that's how that works. And that really covers, and again, we could get a lot more advanced in CSS. It's a very advanced topic. And cascading style sheet is what it stands for. And basically it just means that there's a hierarchy, that if we do something here, it is going to override something that we've done in the defaults. But then if we do it at the module level, it's going to override what we've done here. So cascading style sheets cascade. They have parent and child elements, and they work in hierarchy. But this is what I would consider in my cabinet life would be, this is my shop standards. This is how I want to normally do it. And it's global. I can make sweeping changes without having to go to a bunch of elements and make individual changes. So I hope that was helpful. And that's it for this video on editing the additional CSS element of the customizer, and also the last of this basic series. Next, I'll be doing some more advanced tutorials, and we'll separate them into an advanced playlist. Thanks for watching.